Hello there, Sarah from Online Social Butterfly here, and today I wanted to have a little chat to you about what to do when you're feeling overwhelmed in your business. Now, I know that running a business can be really full on. I know that social media can feel like it is a relentless, hungry monster that has to be fed every minute of every day. And this can lead us to feeling like, well, I don't know what to do. And when we get to that point, we kind of get stuck in this inertia of, I don't know what to do, so what I'm going to do is nothing. And if you have ever felt like that, please know that this is really normal to kind of, when we get stuck in overwhelm, that we procrastinate, we don't know how to take action, and then we do nothing and we waste a ton of energy kind of berating ourselves for not taking action, being really hard on ourselves and really critical. And this just makes things worse. It kind of snowballs. And so here's the thing. When it comes to digital marketing, there are literally a million things that you can do. But what I want you to do is decide what is going to move the needle for you. Now, if you spend any time on social media, which is pretty sure most of us do, what we will find is that we get stuck in that comparisonitis. So we scroll and we look at people and think, how are they showing up all the time? How are they creating all those reels? Why can't I be more like that? And that puts us in a really rubbish headspace. It makes us feel really bad about ourselves. And we then get really stuck on, well, I can't even take any action because I now feel so inadequate that anything that I'm going to do, I don't feel like it's going to be good enough. I don't feel like I want to show up because I feel embarrassed. So to take action when you're feeling overwhelmed actually requires a wee bit of a mindset alteration. So what I want you to do first and foremost when you feel overwhelmed is write down all of the things that you think you should be doing, because that's a great list to have of should be doing. And then I want you to ask yourself, what are your goals and priorities in your business right now? Because it's those that are going to move the needle for you, and it's those that we should be focused on. So if your goal is to, say your big goal is to get to 100K in your business, and you have all these thoughts on what that looks like tactically, look at one of those and decide, well, do I need to work on that right now? And how does that align to my social media? So if you wanted more coaching clients, the obvious thing to do is put up more posts about your coaching part of your business. Now, this is really easy because if you go into Canva, there are a million different templates for coaching that can help get you started. And what I want you to do is just take imperfect action. I want you to just create a post, just do one thing. Because as soon as you do one thing, and I'm sure that many of you have heard this, and it's an analogy that's used all the time about why do successful people make their bed every day? And it's because it sets your day up for success, because you do a task that's repetitive and it's routine based and it sets you up for success. So if you just do one thing, i.e. create just a normal post, not a reel, not a carousel, not anything fancy, create one post and get it out there, you instantly feel success and you feel more positively towards yourself. So we want to do that. We want to have a go at that, and we want to experience what that feels like. And so taking imperfect action is the most important thing you can do. And it's taking one step. It's not taking all the steps. So if you think, well, I need to do 3 posts, a carousel, a reel, and a live, you're not going to do any of those. It's too much. Like, be realistic about what it is that you can actually get done. And I say this to my coaching clients all the time because we feel like whatever we do with social media, it's not enough. And the reality of it is we could just keep going. You could probably post 8 times a day. I was actually in a mastermind and a lady said she did 5 reels a day. And I was like, how's that even possible? But she had planned them all in advance. So the reality of it is whatever you're doing, you could always be doing more. So we need to abandon that mindset that I'm not doing enough, because that will never go away. And it's a horrible space to be. And I spend very little time thinking about social media, thinking about what to post, what to do, because I don't want it to take up all my mental bandwidth, because I'm running a business and that is not my number one priority. So I want you to go to that should list that you wrote, and I want you to ask yourself what actually needs to get done to move the needle on your goals and priorities. And I'm telling you now, that whole list, it's not that, all right? And then I want you to ask yourself, if I've got this much time, say you've got half an hour, what can I reasonably get done in that time? The answer is probably one thing, all right? It's way less than what we think it is. But remember, it's going to make us feel really good and really positive. So I want to encourage you to do that one thing. Now, if you feel like, oh, but Sarah, everyone tells me I should be building a list. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I want you to come back to your objectives and goals and ask yourselves, how does that align with those? Because if you are just fumbling along with no idea what it is you're trying to achieve, you're always going to feel overwhelmed. You're always going to feel inadequate, and you're always going to feel that whatever you're doing is not enough. So I want you to really reconsider what is going to be enough for you and your business to move the needle forward. Now, we want to take imperfect action, and I have to be frank, that is really easy for me to say. I do not suffer perfectionist traits at all. I'm all about version 1 is better than version none. If you follow me on social media, you'll know that I put up posts that sometimes aren't perfect, sometimes have little typos, but that's okay. We don't need to become consumed with perfectionism, because that is the enemy of action. It will stop us every day of the week from taking action and from moving forward. And I don't want that for you. I want you to be able to take action. So on that list of things, choose one thing and get it done. Okay, really, really important. Now, the next step is equally important. I want you to ask yourself, if you were to do one thing every single day for 7 days, what would that look like? So it might be one day you're going to create a reel, one day you're going to do a live, one day you're going to do a video, but it's only one thing each day, okay, to be realistic. And I want you to try and do that for 7 days or 5 days, whatever your working schedule is, and see how that goes, because it's really important. If we start taking consistent action, like making our bed every day, we start to get into that success framework mindset. And that's what we want to do. We want to start kind of going, oh, I can do this. Now, the final thing that goes with those two is I want you to stop thinking about social media and what you should be doing, because all it does is kill your productivity. So once you have your list of action items for each day, and I'm hoping that's only one thing each day, I want you to allow yourself to do that first each day. And then I want you to not expend any mental bandwidth thinking about it again that day. I can't stress that enough, because what's going to happen is you're going to feel like, I don't have to think about it. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm going to spend less time scrolling and feeling inadequate, because you have a little plan of attack and you know what it is that you need to get done. The reality of it is there's no one answer about what you should do when it comes to digital marketing, because it's what is right for you and your business right now. So if you know what your goals and your actions are, it all becomes a whole lot easier. So I want you to kind of consider those little 3 steps for yourself and your business and try them out and see how you go. And I wanted to tell you one final thing just to wrap up this little video. Be kind to yourself, okay? Because as soon as we get hard on ourselves, most of us don't thrive under pressure, and most of us don't thrive from being constantly told that we're not enough. So if you can be kind to yourself and go, well done, Sarah, you said you were going to do a live today and you did it, so tick, you can take a break from and stop thinking about that now. So being kind to yourself is going to have massive ramifications for your success and for your productivity. And I reckon we've all been sold a con, because if we were told from the get-go that the kinder that voice is in your head, the easier everything is going to be, I think we would pay way more attention to it. Now, my little voice in my head, I call her Sally, which is actually it's a different variation of Sarah, and she is can be super nasty and super critical, and also a little bit afraid of stuff underneath all that. And I try and tame her to stop yelling at me, okay, and to stop being so critical of me, and to kind of say to her, I know you're scared and I know you're afraid, but we've got this and it's going to be okay. So try and be kind to yourself, because honestly, if you were just a tiny bit kinder to yourself, it would have such a big flow-on effect to your productivity, actually every part of your life, to be fair. So I hope that this video has been helpful. Remember, tiny baby steps is all that you need to take. Good luck with it all.